Welcome back to Scarecrow's Billiards. If you're watching this video, you're either curious about the game One Pocket, or you're hoping to pick up a thing or two. If you're a seasoned One Pocket player already, this video might not do much for you, but thanks for tuning in regardless. So, all elite pocket billiards players at one time or another either learned how to play One Pocket or play very good One Pocket. If you're unfamiliar with the game, stick around for a few. We'll go over the basics, as well as go over a few defensive and offensive techniques, as most of these are not obvious to the untrained eye. One thing is for certain, One Pocket will teach you more finite cue ball control. Before we start, a disclaimer. Some of these techniques are a bit difficult and do require regular practice, a lot of touchy-feely shots. First off though, the rules. 1. When breaking or otherwise, after you touch at least one object ball or any object ball, something must hit a rail. So remember, for a legal hit, touch a ball, then touch a rail. The only way you can shoot again is if you make a ball in your pocket. If you pocket a ball in the opponent's pocket and fail to do so in your pocket on the same shot, the opponent gets a point and it is their turn. If you pocket a ball into any of the 4 pockets besides the player point pockets, then the ball goes up on the spot. If you scratch, you lose a ball and it comes out of your pocket and goes on the spot or directly behind the closest ball already on the spot. For fouls, fouls result in the fouler either spotting up one of their balls or spotting up one of their balls and surrendering ball in hand to the other player behind the head string. If you fail to drive an object ball to a rail after impact, you spot a ball, but there is no ball in hand. If you fail to hit an object ball, you spot a ball, no ball in hand. If you scratch the cue ball in any fashion, you spot a ball, and the opponent gets ball in hand. If you hit the cue ball off the table, you spot a ball, and the opponent gets ball in hand. If you touch balls with anything other than the cue ball, you spot a ball. If you double hit the cue ball with the tip of the cue, you spot a ball. If you scoop the cue ball, you spot a ball. If you do not have a ball in your pocket to spot, then your ball count goes to -1 and you owe a ball. If that happens, put a marker near your pocket on the rail as a reminder. On the next inning that you do happen to pocket a ball, when your inning is over, the ball that you owe goes up on the spot or freezes to the ball directly behind the spot. When to spot balls. Spot a ball that is potted in any of the 4 non-player pockets. Spot a ball if you foul. Spot a ball after your inning is over if you owe one from before. The first player to make 8 balls in their pocket wins the game. If you're playing with a spot, say 10-6, then if the player who is 10 gets 10 balls in their pocket first, they win. Alternatively, if the player who needs 6 balls gets 6 in, then they win. Starting out, all 15 balls are racked, with the head ball on the spot in any arrangement. There are no stripes, no solids. Each ball counts for a potential point. It is important to try to get the balls as tight as possible without any visible gaps. If there are, a re-rack is usually in order. Traditionally, if the breaker breaks from the left side of the table and hits the balls on the left side, then their pocket is the one on the right side. If the breaker breaks from the right side of the table and hits the balls on the right side, then their pocket is the one on the left side of the table. If the breaker breaks from any other location, like the center of the table or executes a kick break, they must announce their pocket beforehand. A legal break occurs when after the cue ball hits at least one object ball and then at least one object ball touches a rail. If a ball is pocketed on the break into the breaker's pocket, then they are allowed to shoot again. Some rules dictate that if a ball is pocketed in the breaker's pocket on the break, then they have to re-rack and break again. In either case, decide that before the break. Next, we'll jump right into the hardest shot of the game, and that is the shot immediately after a terrific break. So with this shot here, come off the bottom side of the 7, kick the 4 out, and tie up that 1. For this next defensive shot, right after the break, a couple ways out. Maybe you could hit the 1 with bottom and slide down, come off the top of the 11 to get behind that 6 with the 2, or come off the bottom backside of that 15 and then the end rail and then bounce behind that 6 over there. Let's see. A little bit further might have been good, but as it is, they can't cross bank that 11, at least without risking a double kiss. And now for some offensive strategies. If you see 2 balls arranged like this in front of your opponent's hole, the first thing that comes to mind is, they can't make these. So you do what most people do, you leave them alone. But you might want to look closer. Hitting these from the right direction at the right speed can move both of them toward your pocket. For 2, 3, 4, or even 5 rail shots, reference the Scarecrow's Billiards Essentials 2 and 3 videos. Many of these types of shots arise in one pocket, but what is absolutely essential when shooting these shots, or any other shot, is where the cue ball is going to go after you're done shooting, especially if you miss. Another offensive strategy you can employ is using what is known as pocket speed, and also not using pocket speed. If you are going to leave the cue ball somewhat close to the player's pockets when you're done with, say, a bank shot, then you might not want to use pocket speed. Else, if you miss, the opponent can bank the ball into their hole. If you're going to leave the cue ball down table, then it might be best to use pocket speed. In this way, rather than shooting an offensive shot, the opponent might instead elect to make a defensive play, like using their turn to kick a ball away that was close to your pocket. Another offensive strategy is not only banking a ball away from an opponent's pocket, but also banking it into the stack, and then following the cue ball into the stack as well. Next, we'll go over some defensive strategies. A solid defensive strategy is thinning object balls and freezing the cue ball on the back of another ball or the stack. Another defensive maneuver, as often as possible, try to leave the opponent on or very close to a cushion. This way, they can't make contact with the bottom half of the cue ball, thus eliminating a good portion of their ability to control the cue ball on their next shot. These aren't all inclusive, but the last one we'll go over is digging balls out of your opponent's pocket. I'll demonstrate this now. Next up, surviving the game of one pocket. If you're down to the last ball and the opponent has it in the jaws of their pocket, a good survival strategy, if you can, is to pocket that ball into their pocket and then scratch on top of it. This way, not only does that ball go on the spot, but one of your balls also comes out and freezes up behind it. Live to fight on. If you're glued to the backside of a ball or the pack, your only choice might be to kick out of it. And if your opponent, again, has a ball in the jaws of their pocket, your best shot might be to simply kick their ball in. In this situation here, the best option might be to take an intentional foul. Additionally, the opponent may do the same thing back. This may continue until an escape route pops out or one of the players hits 3 fouls in a row, which constitutes a loss of game. Next up, the bear trap. Oftentimes, seasoned players or unseasoned players unknowingly leave you what I call a challenge shot or a hero shot. This is a type of shot where if you make it, you don't have another shot afterwards. But if you miss it, the opponent can go 8 and out. Avoid the temptation of shooting that shot and think of a more strategic alternative. Try to do as much as you can with the shot that you have to set yourself up for success later. You'll find that a series of successful strategic plays can be much more beneficial than pocketing a ball or two here and there. Well, that about does it. If you've never played before, I highly encourage you to see it played in person, or if that isn't possible, look up Derby City Classic One Pocket on YouTube to see some of the world's best in action. Thanks again for watching, and God bless. Scarecrow out.